So, with everything going on, right? This video with Trent Shelton was very powerful because you know what? Sometimes we feel like we're insignificant. We feel like we are not powerful. We are not anything, right? But you are. We are. You are more than what you think. You are legendary, right? So in this motivational talk, he talks about you being legendary, right? So you know what? Stay tuned if you need this motivation today. That people see it for that and they don't just squander it. They don't just overlook it. They're just not like, it's whatever, right? It is important. It's historic, right? It's historic. So we're going to end the video on Trent Shelton put out a video called You Are Legendary. We know this is going to be powerful, y'all. So we got to jump into this one. We may listen to the whole thing, we may not. It just kind of depends. But let go.
My running coach on Nike Nike Run Club has said something about legendary, right? It's like make this run legendary, and it made me think for a second. It made me realize the definitions of how we define things, right? And you know I'm big on that. Like I always tell people, like, okay, what's your definition of success and your definition of whatever it may be. So I thought about the word legendary. And I think so many times, like, we define legendary, first of all, as something that's external. A lot of times we feel like we can't be legendary because we think legendary is doing something that's legendary in the world's eyes, right? That's like, winning an NBA championship or, creating the iPhone and or doing all these things that might be legendary, but we think that legendary isn't for us. We think that legendary is something that we have to have a platform for, something that we have to have a lot of followers for, we have to be famous for, we have to have a lot of money for, right? We have to be known. It's the validation of being known. And as I was thinking, man, I was like, today I was like, this run isn't legendary. Like, I'm full of struggle today. Like, it's not easy. I thought for a second. I said, wait a minute. I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm pushing my body to limits that I've never met before. I'm doing a 3-mile run, interval run, which I'm doing different intervals at different pace, mile pace, 5K pace, 10K pace, which I've never done before. Very hard for me because I'm a sprinter naturally. And also after that, I did 10 sand hill sprints. If you ever ran in the sand, you know how hard it is. Just imagine doing it on the hill. And I say, you know what? Today is legendary because I'm doing something I'd never done before. And it doesn't mean you always beast it or accomplish what you set out to do. But if you go attempt to do something impossible, if you go attempt to show yourself that, you know what, there's a greater me inside of me, I feel that's legendary. Loving your kids in a different way, or your wife or your husband in a different way you never did before, that's legendary. Going for a run, going for a walk, going for a hike, writing a book, doing something that you have never done before is legendary. And it made me realize that we all have the opportunity every single day to do something legendary. Right? To do something legendary. And I think the good thing about legendary is, like, once you do something, you create that legacy, right? You create that legacy, it becomes a part of you. So, like, I set the tone for the rest of this trip today. I did something legendary today. I set the tone for the rest of this trip. And so now my mindset is a different place. Realize every single step, every step that I took, every step of faith that I took, every risk that I took, it's not really even a risk, because if you go do something, either you're going to succeed at it or you're going to learn from it. So I don't even consider it as a risk, but I consider it as a progression step. And I look back, every single progression that I took along this journey has been legendary because I took a step that I never took before. And so I hope that encourages somebody out there, whatever it is that you want to do, like, you're a legend because you're trying to go accomplish. That makes you legendary. You're a legend because you're trying to be the best father you can be, the best mother you can be, the best friend you can be, the best servant you can be. That's legendary. Because a lot of people in this world, too often they settle. They settle for ordinary. They settle for average. They settle for just getting by. They just take what the world gives them. But I realize it's about legends. Legends. And that's, like I said, that's not celebrities. That's anybody that has the courage to go attempt to accomplish something. What I realized about legends is that they don't accept what the world gives them. They don't accept the circumstances that the world gives them. They don't accept the opinions that the world gives them. They don't accept settling for less from somebody else, that somebody's trying to give them less than what they're worth. They don't accept that. Legends go give what's in their heart to the world. Legends go set the tone for their lives in this world. Legends respect themselves. Legends love themselves. Legends go conquer their struggle. And that's what I want you to do, all right? People don't like being vulnerable. Hey, be vulnerable. You're vulnerable regardless. Realize that. Like, people are going to judge you regardless. That's what you guys got to understand. Like, if you're not doing nothing, they're going to judge you for not doing nothing, right? If you're trying to progress, they're going to judge you for not doing enough. If you're doing enough, they're going to judge you for being too arrogant. Realize you'll never please people. That's why you have to do it for yourself. That's why you do it for yourself. As I always tell you, the world's going to judge you regardless. You might as well give them something great to judge you for. We all are legends. We all are legendary. And every single day is an opportunity to leave your mark. That's what legends do, right? We leave our mark. You see this saying, right? Let me stand up right quick and show you. Let me see if y'all can see the footprints. Hold on. You see those footprints going up? That's me running. I left my mark in this sand today. Of course, you know, those footprints are eventually going to fade, but I left my mark on today. I left my mark in this place today, and that's what legends do. We get up and we leave our mark in people's lives. We leave our mark in this world. We just leave our mark in a positive way, not a negative way, because some people leave their mark in negative ways, and that's not legend. That's what cowards do. It's easy to leave your mark in a negative way, but it takes a strength, it takes a accountability, it takes being secure with yourself to leave your mark in a positive way. So go leave your mark. I wish everyone stopped being two-faced and start thinking like you. Hey, listen, I'm gonna be real about that. We all have lived double standards. Let's be real. None of us are perfect. Some of us, we do it unintentionally. Sometimes we say we're gonna do something, we don't do it. We all fall short at times, but the key is to try to not do that as often, right? If you make a mistake, learn from it, grow from it. But yeah, don't purposely live like that, because that's not gonna get you nowhere. Let's get it. As I was
right, you are legendary. That is very powerful, right? He's looking at the footsteps in the sand. He's doing these things, right? You do not need to be Michael Jordan. You do not need to be Kobe. You do not need to be Tom Brady. You don't need to be Aaron Rodgers. You do not need to be Brett Favre. You do not need to be these certain people to be legendary, right? You can be legendary in so many different ways. That is the powerful part of putting this mantle on you, because you are that important, right? What you do is legendary. What you do can be legendary. You just got to believe it in yourself, right? Sometimes we just don't believe it. We're just like, it's whatever. But it's very, very powerful, right? It's very, very powerful. We see it from time and time again, right? We're like, man, what am I doing? Like, is it good enough? Is it really that important? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know. It's like all these different things. They encompass this mindset that we are just not good enough. That we are just not good enough. And we put ourselves down. We put others down. Other people put us down. But the thing is, we are good enough. We're good enough. We're legendary. We're amazing. We're all these great things, but we do not see it in ourselves. We have not unlocked that greatness as within ourselves. Right? We're just like us, whatever. It's not important. We're not important. It's just not there. We're just never gonna be there. All these different things, and it's like, you are. What you do could be legendary. These accomplishments, these lessons that have been learned could lead into this legendary moment. This could lead into your legendary status. This could lead into these legendary moments. But yet, we just don't see it in ourselves. We reject it. We deny it. We just do not want to believe it. And it's like, come on, like, look at what's going on. You could be legendary. There's nothing stopping you from being legendary but yourself. Don't let other people bring you down. You are your greatest and biggest enemy. Once you learn that, once you could overcome that, you will be legendary. You will be great. I promise you that. I promise you that. And know what? I hope that this whole podcast was entertaining. I hope that this end brought some life and some encouragement and some power and some legendary motivation into you. Because know what? You are legendary. You are legendary, and know what? And I appreciate every single one of you. And I'm gonna have to bid you adieu. Without further ado, I'm gonna bid you adieu. And I would appreciate it if y'all subscribe to the podcast on any podcast platform you're listening to, on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. I appreciate y'all so much. And until next time, salute.